Many leaders assumes like what AI will do, it will automatically shortlist the best candidates, make hiring decisions, remove bias completely. But in reality, it is much different. In HR industry, how it's evolving, to some extent, AI can be blamed for that. Do you think I would have been getting the same job even today if I continued doing the same way? Nothing can be 100% matched, even if you talk about the Mahabharata time or any time from that time. The high performing team has been a debate. If which team is high performing, is the Kauravas or Pandavas in many aspects. Decide fast, decide well, decide practically.
Welcome to another episode where we explore the thinkers, doers, and the leaders shaping the world of people and work. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Anupam, a seasoned talent acquisition and recruitment leader with extensive experience in building high performing teams, shaping recruitment strategies, and driving talent transformation across organizations. Wow. Anupam has worked at intersection of talent, business goals, culture enabling companies to attract, engage, and retain the right people in a competitive landscape. So, Anupam, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank for kind words and such a good introduction.
So, my first question to you would be, what would you say is the most significant shift you have seen in organizations, how they are approaching talent in the past 5 years?
Great beginning question, I would say, to start with. So over the past 5 years, I would say the most significant shift, what I have observed is this: talent has moved from being a support function to becoming a strategic lever of business transformation. Right? Earlier, organizations largely viewed talent through cost and capacity lenses, right? And hiring to fill roles, managing performance cycles, ensuring retention, etc. But today, if I talk about talent, is about capability architecture.
So, is it more towards because of the AI transforming the recruitments, or something else?
It is a mix of both. Is a AI and the way the technology has helped. So if I say about AI is a very advanced way of automating things. That does not mean that technology was never there in the picture for HR,
Yes, it was
right?
there
So
earlier
the
as
way
well.
it evolved, yeah, the way it has evolved over the time. When I used to pick people as a recruiter by sitting at the tea stall and headhunting people. Nowadays, headhunting meaning has changed a lot. Technology is playing a role everywhere. The way we shifted from mainframe to our mobile smartphones, and we can do everything even today.
I know you've been a part of so many forums, you've been interacting with so many people. So, what is the one misconception that you hear about AI in hiring these days?
Biggest misconception I could see and observe has like AI will replace recruiters, and that's simply not true. Whereas AI does not replace recruiters, it replaces repetitive work and not the human judgment. Many leaders assumes like what AI will do, it will automatically shortlist the best candidates, make hiring decisions, remove bias completely. But in reality, it is much different. And what AI is better at is pattern recognition, speed, data processing, scheduling coordination. But hiring and finding people talent in HR and T industry is still is all about context, nuances, cultural alignment, right? Potential beyond resumes. That's something I do not see as of now, to the best of my knowledge.
We get to hear that X company has fired so many people, Y company is about to fire so many people, and now the market has also crashed because of AI coming into the mainframe. Is it not gullible of this crime of taking away jobs?
Where we are standing in HR industry, how it's evolving, to some extent, AI can be blamed for that. But largely, it's about our adaptability, how quickly we
Wonderful.
are adapting new things, and how do we moving forward to that. If we talk about the when I started recruiting, it was pen paper resume. We used to write
Yeah.
skill sets, Java, C plus, etc. Do you think I would have been getting the same job even today if I continued doing the same way? Absolutely not. Then later on, I moved to Excel, the scanned PDFs that used to have parsing, automatically detecting what's content of the
Yeah.
resumes in PDF format, now processing data. So at any point of time, any individual. It's not just limiting to HR industry, but it's up to us how quickly we adapting new things and moving forward with it and
Yeah.
intelligently using that.
That brings me to another question. What do you think are the effective balancing approach that organizations are utilizing, to have a realistic outcome between human efforts and the technology?
It's a very thin line to define, Puneet, especially when I see from a leadership lens, right? I will connect it back to your second question about the misconception what leaders are having in the industry, right? Is mostly around AI can solve everything and AI will replace human. AI will do this, AI will do that, and they have a long list of wishful list what people have. But in current scenario, if I talk about the most of the industry who are really looking at AI as an enabler, and they are using technology versus the real work, they're trying to identifying all the repetitive tasks. What people have changed their approach of collecting data so that AI can be used in the most effective manner, right? So there are many such things what people are doing, industry leaders are doing just to enable that AI piece of it, using the technology in much better way, to have some kind of a predictive analysis, to have some sort of a notion to understand, show like how things are moving, how the that what trend is trying to tell you, understanding those things, work out a mitigation plan and do those things. So there's a fair mix. Definitely technology is playing a great role. It has been playing great role last 20 years, and things are today's AI, tomorrow something else may come back, and you might be doing a podcast with a robot sitting in place of me and giving the answers using some chat GPT running to their brain, and you can do that way, right? And you never know if you're doing in a metaverse and using that glasses and interviewing somebody and creating that kind of podcast. So it is about the creating the balance, understanding the limitations and efficiency both ways of the machine technology and the humans too, and how well you can integrate both together and create that balance.
In fact, one of my clients, so there was a candidate that they hired, and they realized that this is not the person we actually hired. So when they actually cross questioned that guy, he said that I used my proxy. I've paid a company to do that and get my interview cleared. So we are getting
That's
such
an
queries.
interesting use case.
And when we are talking about this, do you believe a resume provides the complete picture of the candidate now, given the context that chat GPTs of the world and all the LMs they are using to beautify it? What is the right way to get the candidate?
So I, before answering a question, Puneet, I'll give a story too, and I have personally experienced that. I was in the middle of testing all these AI tools, okay, how the AI tools are working. And basically, in recruiting, there is something you call that gives you the fitment scores, right,
Yeah,
by parsing the resume and finding keywords. A lot of ATS that are currently supporting and that integrating with those kind of AI capabilities. So I was just checking that, and then I knew of the tool. I won't name the tool, but it can design your resume based on the JD you enter.
wow.
So you have to upload the job description or your resume. It will transform your resume, which would match with job description completely, so that your chances of getting selected at least the resume level gets higher. I use that JD, and it's the same tool which can does both. It has a two different application that can do the same. So I picked up one resume randomly, put my company JD, and just screen that and got the other resume, the transformed one supposed to be. And then I uploaded that resume here in against a job requisition what I had, and still I could see 76% match or
Oh,
86% match. So that way, I really do not know how these models are designed behind the scenes, but still I could say they are also maybe thinking intelligently as a human ways. Nothing can be 100% mass, so let's limit that kind of possibilities to 80-85% mass, so that
I
it should
agree.
not sound fishy or something different. Now coming back to your question, right? So candidates showing a lot of things. So AI is definitely changing this trust equation in hiring for sure, but I wouldn't say that the trust is eroding, but evolving. And
Great.
this adds more work for us, like rather depending on AI, then see like how creative we can be, while assessing the candidates, screening the candidates, and what's written in the resume. Right? It's still better, I would say, because earlier, if you look at the 20 years back when I started my career, if you look at the column called skill set in any resume, it used to have every skill available in the world. So
I
I
agree.
would say still we are far better right now.
Great.
AI is positive. If you look at something which you feel and suspect it's an AI thing, you should be expert in AI to analyze and decipher that and
Great.
see, okay, fine, this is not AI.
Great.
Exactly.
So that brings me to a few rapid fire questions. Anupam, are you ready?
Sure, go ahead, Puneet. Let me see.
Okay. One trait every high performing team must have.
Trust.
Soft skills or hard skills? Which will dominate the future?
Soft skill.
Team chemistry. Is it measurable or just a magic?
It's a reflection. It's a measurable.
Now I'll move to the candidate experience part. Video interview or in person? What's more effective?
In person.
You're still saying in person in the era of AI technology?
Because technology is not giving me what I am looking at in person. The body language.
Okay, ghosting. Is it candidates or employers? Who's worst?
Employers.
Biggest candidate turn off during hiring?
Bad engagement.
Cognitive agility. Is it a buzzword or a future essential?
Future essential, I would say.
Now the last question: Gen Z and AI hiring. Which one you should trust more, or which one you should doubt more?
I can trust more Gen Z, the human element to it, rather
Wow.
complete machine dependency.
That brings us to the end of our rapid fire questions, but I have a few more questions coming your way. Building high performing teams is critical, yet team chemistry often feels subjective. What is the biggest barrier to proactively creating teams with strong dynamics? And are organizations overlooking crucial data in this process?
High performing team, and that has been a part of the debate from many years. Even if you talk about the Mahabharata time or any time from that time, the high performing team has been a debate. Which team is high performing? Is the Kauravas or Pandavas in many aspects? It all depends. How do we do that, right? And I'm just giving that example, ancient example here, Puneet, because the biggest barrier to proactively creating the high performance team is, as of now, we should understand, we the still hire individuals, but we expect the team outcomes,
Yeah.
and that is the biggest barrier at the moment what we have. And most organizations optimize for individual brilliance and not collective performance architecture, and that's where this fails entirely. And that's where maybe we think like the we can see the gap begins, and if we look into that part, I think that it will solve most of the problem.
Many hiring decisions fail due to role mismatch. Beyond skills and experience, what do you see as the primary reason behind these mishires?
Okay, there could be two-way looking at these things, right? One is from the employer's perspective, one is from the candidate's perspective. And a lot of perception also plays a great role in the absence of a lot of relevant data in that case. So what I primarily see, and based on my discussion with my industry leaders, because we keep meeting, keep talking, is many a times we do not even know the role what we are hiring for. I will tell you how this expectation changes when it starts from the leaders level and that comes to the hiring manager level. It changes a lot. Leadership level, they talk about future potential of the candidates, future skills, hiring, and those things. The moment it comes down to reality, people start expecting, I want to solve it now. I don't care about the future, how it's going to happen. We'll train resources that way, right? And many a times in that kind of the gap what we have, what I talked about, what a lot of people say it's a role mismatch, we don't see that. Because whenever we candidate applying for the role or we are evaluating the role, and if it reaches us or the business, okay, fine, this experience, this is skills, this level of experience, this kind of stakeholder manage, this kind of region manage, so those are a lot of criteria that we talked about in role. And from the career perspective, we feel like apply to every role somewhere we will fit in. and that actually dilute the whole case. And similarly, from the recruiter's perspective also, we are not getting into the details right now, right? Even as a junior school recruiters, or which most of the Gen Zs are there, or mid-level recruiter, and those way, they are not going in detail and checking those fitment at all in the beginning itself, and that we are realizing at towards the end of the day. And in the whole thing, we don't have to forget about this cultural fitment, right? That
What are the three skills you perceive are really important in this time so that people don't end up losing their jobs?
the first and foremost, I would say accountability.
Great.
Second, I would say the customer focus.
Yeah.
And third, I would say the detail orientation.
Wow.
Okay,
I think,
these three skills
yeah.
everyone should have.
Now let's talk about, what reflect those skills, the job description. So, job descriptions typically focus on skills and, what is required, what is the experience that the person has. How can organizations go beyond this to align the right talent with the right role?
It's up to the organizations how quickly they can adapt and use AI to have those behavioral skills tested, because these are mainly the part of the behavior, not just skills like Java, C++, writing good English, or those things. These are the skills, right? But how do you actually fit in the team and make the team successful, and what kind of a eye you to details you have, what kind of your view on customers problem, how do you see that, the kind of accountability sense what we have. So those things can be called it out as another para in job description, but the responsibility back to the business and the HR and recruiters, like how to assess that, how to validate that part. In 90% resume nowadays, you see people talk about accountability. They are smart. Those words are present there in the resumes too. But how do we validate those behavioral skills? How do we do justice with those competency assessments? I think that's more important.
So, candidate experience is, really important in terms of delivering a respectful and positive experience. Is it, are organizations actually successful in providing that?
It's the moment we measure the success and the failure of providing the good kind of experience, unfortunately, it can't be just one person in a company who can be held responsible for that. It's an entire team who is a so-called the project of hiring the team, the business, hiring managers, leaders, recruiter, HR, onboarding team, background check team, or whatever it is. It's a set of people who are responsible for kind of experience. Now, within that, if you want to create a kind of a pie chart, yes, we can say 25% to this team, 35% responsibility of that. That way, accountability is defined, and then we can start assessing those parts. But yes, candid experience is really important in today's scenario. And but at the same time, I wish there could have been a measure, metrics, which could have captured the organization experience too, because even though after giving so many good kind of experience, still people prefer to hold 3 4 offers and not committed to those things.
Yeah, but then for that we have employers of employer survey, best employer survey. So we have that kind of a measurement, isn't it, Anupam?
Again, if you look at like what is the center of that survey is defined, it is more defined from a employee perspective. But about a candidate, what employer thinks when they go through this last moment surprises,
Yeah.
I think that also experience has to be counted somewhere.
Looking 5 to 10 years ahead, what major shift do you anticipate in how organizations are going to attract, assess, and secure talent?
So down the line, as we started with something similar 5 years behind where we are today, and definitely it's going to be much more evolved from the use of technology perspective. And technology is going to play a very vital role in next 5 to 10 years. How they're going to hiring talent in that way, and definitely AI will be much wider use in that in those technology use of the tools or application, whatever it will be, that will be there. And but it's important to understand there will be a human element still There will be people who would know how to use those technologies to make those things happen, rather creating the robots at least 5 to 10 years. No, robots who will start doing the thing what a recruiter is doing at the moment.
My last question to you, Anupam. What is your most important advice for CHROs seeking to integrate AI into their hiring processes effectively and maybe seamlessly?
My only advice to all CHROs across the globe would be decide fast, decide well,
Yeah, decide
right?
fast.
And decide practically. Those are the three things where we I could see like many a times like the thinking the traditional way slows down the pace of the hiring,
Yeah.
and also that impacts accuracy because in the current world of the modality we have, the data gets stalled at any point of time.
Anupam, thank you so much for an inspiring and practical conversation.
Thank you so much, Puneet. I'm glad I'm part of this conversation. Thank you.
Viewers, if you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And if one idea resonated with you today, pass it on to someone who would benefit it. Okay, thank you, Anupam. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. All the best. God bless.